this. Okay. Here we go. 1, 2, 3. Hey, what is up, YouTube? My name is Mari from Mari Likes Books, and welcome to my BookTube channel. In today's video, I'm doing a TBR style type video of books that are on my TBR, books that I've read, and books that I'm currently reading because I don't have that many books on my TBR. I haven't read that many books, and I'm currently in the middle of like 4 books at a time. So, let's get started. The first book that I read that I'll put right here if I can is Sex and Vanity by Kevin Kwan, which is about a girl named Lucy who goes to a wedding, gets into like a summer romance that she doesn't want to happen but ends up happening anyway. She gets into a summer romance, kind of moves on from it, gets engaged, and then the summer romance kind of comes back to her in the future, and she has to deal with that in a love triangle kind of way now. I ended up rating it 5 out of 5 stars because I loved it that much. So let's get into my TBR and the books that I am currently reading. On my TBR, I have Little Fires Everywhere by Celeste. I don't know how to pronounce his last name. I don't want to offend anyone, so I'm not going to try. I will read the synopsis on the back because I don't really know what this book is about. So it says, in Shaker Heights, a placid progressive suburb in Cleveland, everything is planned. From the layout of the winding roads to the colors of the houses to the successful lives of its residents will go on to lead. And no one embodies this spirit more than Elena Richardson, whose guiding principle is playing by the rules. Enter Mia Warden, an enigmatic artist and single mother who arrives to this idyllic bubble with her teenage daughter Pearl in a disregard for the status quo that threatens to upend this carefully ordered community. Pearl. Was it the Scarlet Letter where her daughter's name was Pearl and she was like a little demon child? I had to read that in high school, but I don't remember. I think it was the Scarlet Letter. Anyway. Suspicious of Mia and her motives, Elena is determined to uncover the secrets of Mia's past, but her obsession will come at unexpected and devastating costs. Little Fires Everywhere explores the weight of secrets and the nature of art and identity and the ferocious pull of motherhood and the danger of believing that following the rules can avert disaster. So this is on my TBR. I got it for Easter, and I'm kind of excited to read it. Y'all just heard my knee pop. I know y'all heard that. If you didn't, you know my knee popped. A book that I'm almost done reading, but I can't bring myself to finish, is Pet Sematary by Stephen King. I started this when I was a senior in high school. I'm now a sophomore in college, and I have yet to finish this book, but I really want to. I'm on page 430 out of 542. So about a little over 100 pages out. I plan to finish this. I don't know when. Hopefully I'll finish it by the end of this month, which is May, when I'm filming this. So hopefully that will happen. But the synopsis reads, when Dr. Lewis Creed takes a new job and moves his family to the idyllic and rural town of Ludlow, Maine, this new beginning seems too good to be true. Yet despite Ludlow's tranquility, there is an undercurrent of danger that exists here. Those trucks on the road outside the Creed's beautiful home travel by just a little too quickly, for one thing, as evidenced by a makeshift pet cemetery out back in the nearby woods. Then there are the warnings to both Lewis, both real and from the depths of his nightmares, that he should not venture beyond the borders of this little graveyard. A blood-chilling truth is hidden there, one more terrifying than death itself, and hideously more powerful. An omniscious fate befalls anyone who dares tamper with this forbidden place, and Lewis is about to discover for himself. I remember most of this book. I remember there being a sex scene in this book that made me really uncomfortable. Side note, there's a sex scene in Sex and Vanity as well. Surprise, surprise, the name is Sex and Vanity. But it's not like a sex scene, it's more like an intimate scene. I'm getting off track. I'm talking about a different book, but this is a good book. From what I've read so far, although it is a bit cringy. It's not as scary as I thought it was. It's more like a suspense book, but can't wait to finish it. See what Lewis does in the Pet Cemetery, or what he does not do in the Pet Cemetery. I don't know yet. The next book that I want to read, that forgot to take the sticker off of, so y'all know how much I paid for this book that I got from Walmart, is Lore by Alexandra Bracken. I got this because of the hype, and I wanted to see what the hype was about. It is also Mel Reed's Patreon book club book of the month pick, along with Skyward by Brandon Sanderson. I have that book somewhere, but I bought this one and found that it was the book club book of the month. I do not have a Patreon, but I still want to read the book. The synopsis reads, every 7 years, the Agnon begins. As a punishment for the past rebellion, 9 Greek gods are forced to walk the earth as mortals. They're hunted by the descendants of ancient bloodlines, all eager to kill a god and seize their divine power and immortality. Long ago, Lore Perseus, that's an interesting name, I like that name, fled that brutal world, turning back on her hunt's promises of eternal glory after her family was murdered by a rival line. For years, she pushed away any thought of revenge against the man, now a god, responsible for their deaths. Yet, as the next hunt dawns over New York City, 2 participants seek her out. Castor, a childhood friend Lore believed to be dead, and Athena, one of the last of the original gods, now gravely wounded. The goddess offers Lore an alliance against their mutual enemy and a way to leave Agnon behind forever. But Lore's decision to rejoin the hunt, binding her fate to Athena's, will come at a deadly cost. And it may not be enough to stop the rise of a new god with the power to bring humanity to its knees. This book is about 466 pages. It took me 3 days to read Sex and Vanity, which is about 314 pages, 319, not counting the acknowledgments and stuff, so 314. I don't know how long it's going to take me to read this book. I hope I can get to it this month because I really, really want to read this book. But let's move on to the next one. The next book I just recently bought, along with Lore. And I'm so excited for this. Oh, that was a Joker smile. I didn't know I could do that. I'm so sorry. That was so creepy. Is The Silent Patient by Alex Michaelides. I'm so sorry if I'm pronouncing your name wrong. Please don't come for me. I really don't know how to pronounce words. And the synopsis says, Alicia's life, I don't know how to pronounce her last name, so I'm just going to not pronounce her last name, is seemingly perfect until one night when her husband Gabriel returns home late from work and Alicia shoots him 5 times in the face and then never speaks another word. Alicia's refusal to talk or give any kind of explanation turns a domestic tragedy into a mystery that captures the public imagination. And she, the silent patient, is hidden away from the tabloids at the Grove, a secure psychiatric unit in North London. Criminal psychotherapist Theo Faber is captivated by Alicia's story and jumps to the opportunity to work with her. His determination to get her to talk and unravel the mystery of why she shot her husband will take him down a path more expected and more terrifying than he ever imagined. I'm sorry, I'm trying to see how long this book is. This book is 323 pages. So I'll probably read this before I read Lore, after I finish Pet Sematary and this next book. I'll hopefully finish this next book today, the day that I'm filming. Hopefully I can finish Pet Sematary today, the day that I'm filming. And then I'll be able to start this tomorrow. If I don't finish those 2 books today, then I'll finish them tomorrow because I start school next week. Pray for me if you pray. Give me all the good vibes. It's biology and I'm bad at biology. But The Silent Patient. I'm very excited to read this book. This book is 323 pages. It's fairly short, actually, but I'm very excited to read this. I want to read it and then give it to my mom to read. So yeah. And then the last book that I have is the book that I'm in the middle of. I'm 56% of the way through, according to Libby. According to Goodreads, I'm 56% of the way through. And that is Pride and Prejudice by Jane Austen, which is a story of love and values. I really don't know how to explain this. It's like a story of Elizabeth and Mr. Darcy and a love that is very confusing to me. This will probably be a future reread because at the moment it is so confusing that I cannot comprehend what is going on. Jane Austen's Pride and Prejudice is a classic tale of love and values that unfolds in class-conscious England of the late 18th century. Since it is of the 18th century, there are words in here that I've never heard of. Since I do not know these words, I do not understand this book. Okay. So, I shouldn't have did that. I'm so sorry. The 5 Bennet sisters, including strong-willed Elizabeth and young Lydia, I love that name, Lydia, have all been raised by their mother to have one purpose in life, finding a husband, which is the wrong purpose in life to have, unless you're royalty, I guess. Then it's still the wrong purpose to have. This is not a Disney movie. Purpose in life should be what you want your purpose to be, not finding a husband, unless that's what you want your purpose to be, but your purpose should not be in another human being. When a wealthy bachelor takes up residence in a nearby mansion, the Bennets are abuzz. Among the man's sophisticated circle of friends, surely there will be no shortage of suitors for the Bennet sisters. But when Elizabeth meets up with the handsome and it would seem snobbish, it's not what it seems, he is snobbish, Mr. Darcy, the battle of the sexes is joined. And that is the most confusing book that I have read besides Huckleberry Finn. I was in the 6th grade when I read Huckleberry Finn, and then I had to reread it in high school, and it still made no sense to me. So, that is all for my little book haul. Please follow me on the socials. I will try my best to put them right here if I know how. If not, I just hold my hand here and it looks really weird. On Facebook, I have a little book club called Book Club that I will try my best to link in the description. I will link all the books in the description. And that's about it. I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye, guys.